Hey guys, CaliFab here, and today we are doing a huge introduction for 3 different projects. I figured I would do all of them in one here, just so to make it a little bit easier. I'm thinking I might even do updates in the same collective project because they are all panning eyeshadows. So we all know that my progress of panning eyeshadows is very, very slow. I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the slower ones to pan eyeshadows. Now panning other things, face products and stuff like that, I'm actually pretty quick at, which is strange because I don't use a lot of product, and a lot of the product I tap back into the pan so that I'm not wasting it. I hate wasting product, it drives me nuts. But anyways, so today we are doing the introduction for the Pantastic Ladies project pan that is tiny pans. I had an idea for what I was going to do for this one first, but I kind of changed my mind, so we'll get into that here in a minute. I'm also going to be doing the introduction for Pan Those Eyeshadows, so that'll be super, super fun this year. I'm going to kind of mix Pan Those Eyeshadows with Pan Those Dupes. So Lady Pans a lot on Instagram asked me if I wanted to do a panning your dupe eyeshadows in your collection to get them out of your collection so you don't have so many dupes of the same exact colors, because we all know that we all have a million of the exact same colors in our collections. So she asked me if I wanted to do that, and I decided to put in 6 different pans for that one, and they are all single shadows simply because I kind of want to work my way through some of the single shadows in my collection. I really don't reach for them that often, and this will kind of be a better way of reaching for them. And then Pan Those Eyeshadows will just be a roulette. I'm going to pick 3 more additional shades on top of the Pan Those Dupe shades. So I'll have a lot going on. So I'll have a palette, I'll have 6 singles for Pan Those Dupes, and I'll have 3 additional shades, whether they be singles or palette shades. It doesn't matter, I'm gonna kind of pull from my entire collection and do Pan Those Eyeshadows. So if I do get any repeat shades, like if I get a shade from my tiny pans, I will pull a different palette in or a different shade in. So I'm gonna do the tiny pans first just to kind of get that out of the way, because I don't want to pick 2 shades from one eyeshadow palette and then have to pick a new palette. So for tiny pans, I was originally going to do the Lorac palettes that I had. I had 4 different tiny size eyeshadow palettes, and I did decide to declutter them. I don't love that formula, and I'm not super interested in that brand anymore simply because that brand is kind of whittling down and you can't really buy it many places. And I know that the palettes that I had chosen have since been discontinued, so I don't want to keep featuring them on my channel if you guys can't get them. But unfortunately, the palettes that I did choose, there's a lot of them that are also discontinued, but they do come back every so often. They do show up in TJ Maxx or Marshalls. So I did decide to do a roulette style or a rolling style of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. So this is gonna be fun. I did put all of my palettes in a Tiny Decisions app. So I have them here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10, and I'll tell you what all of my Anastasia palettes are. I have Modern Renaissance, Master Palette by Mario, Carly Bible, Alyssa Edwards, Sultry, Subculture, Soft Glam, Riviera, Prism, Norvina. So those are the ones that I have currently from Anastasia Beverly Hills in those tiny little pan sizes. So let's do this. And I have decided in the tiny pans, if I pan half the palette, literally just simply hit pan on half of the palette, and I want to be done working on that palette, then I can roll it out. Additionally, if I use the palette 50 times, 50 times, and I want to roll the palette out because I'm bored with it, it's out of season or whatever, then I can do that as well. And that's saying using any shade in that palette. So that is my goal for this. I'm hoping to rotate through at least 3 of these palettes throughout the year, so that means I really need to be doing my makeup every day. And to be honest, I've done my makeup more often this year than not, so that's only saying it's been, what, 6 days? Yeah, it's the 6th. So that's where we are, but I'm ready to do the tiny pans. So I'm gonna hold this up so you guys can see it first. and we'll do it. And I have no repeaters in here, so I don't want it to be repeated at all. So here we go. Oh, Alyssa Edwards. This is the one I was least excited about because it's so stinking colorful. So I think this one's gonna be a really hard one for me to work through. But I guess on the plus side, a lot of my Those Dupes are very neutral shades, so maybe I can kind of pair them together. I don't know, I'm not very good with color and I don't really enjoy color on me that much, but I'm gonna go get it and show you what we're working with. This is gonna be a hard one for me. This is gonna be a true challenge at the very beginning of the year. I just lotioned my hands, so now they're all like sticky, but this is the palette here. I just looked at it and I have not touched even one shade to swatch it. So I'm really nervous about this. Also, I'm using this to kind of declutter. So if I decide that I don't ever want to use this, I can also declutter it. So that's another rule. But if I do that, then I need to definitely, I for sure need to pick a new one. So, oh my God, this is making me nervous already. This is the palette. It is so colorful. Like, I don't know, like the only neutral shades in here are these four. Like this lid setting color, this goldy shimmer, and these two browns, or like orangey brown and brown. Oh no. So we have two purples, we have two pinks, we have a yellow, like a bright, legit neon yellow. We have more purples, we have a brown and a black. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this palette. I'm gonna have to start getting creative with my eye looks. This is literally the one palette I was like, don't get that one. Okay, we're working on it. So the Alyssa Edwards is my Tiny Pans Pan That palette this year, and each shade has 0.028 ounces. So I'm not gonna lie, you guys, to use these and to get pan on them, I am gonna dig through the center and hopefully pan at least half of this palette so I can roll it out, because this is gonna be a hard one. This is gonna be a struggle for me this year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. Okay, so now on to the Pan Those Dupes. Like I said, I picked 6 different shades and they're all in my little BoxyCharm mini palette here. So these are the shades that I picked, and yes, I did pick a black, which is right here. So I was gonna go through and like swatch all the original shades with you guys, but that'll make this video so incredibly long and I don't wanna do that. So as we go on, I might swatch them together and show you, or maybe I'll do a post on Instagram and show you guys like the comparison swatches so that you guys can tell the differences. Okay, so the first one in here is a Colourpop palette. This is the shade Beam Me Up. And this is the placeholder for the shade in the Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette in the shade Snow. I do have pan on that shade and I absolutely loved it in my inner corners. This one does have a little bit more of an icy blue tone, whereas that one was more of a white. So I think this one I can actually wear on my lid more often than I could that one. That one was just like straight up ice white. This one's more of like a blue icy. So I think I can get a little bit more use and be a little bit more versatile with this color. So my next shade is from Coastal Scents, and this is the shade Kiwi Green. I guess I should be swatching them for you so you can see them. This is Beam Me Up. Don't mind I did lipstick swatches earlier. Anyways, but Kiwi Green is the dupe for the Urban Decay Vice Reloaded palette in the shade Mildew. I absolutely loved that shade and I still do. I still have that palette. I still love that shade. But I want to use the dupes in my collection, and this is like an almost 100% spot on dupe for that color. And yeah, might as well use it while I got it, right? So the next shade I have is here. It is Makeup Geek Bedrock, and this one is a dupe for the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons in Pecan Praline, and this is a very cool toned gray shade. It is so perfect with like a purple look. See how it has like that purpley undertone to it? It is so pretty. I love this matte. It looks so good, at least the Too Faced Bonbons palette one. But I'm excited to use this and see how I like it and go from there. So the next shade is also from Coastal Scents. It's right here. It's the shade Paprika, and this one is a dupe for the Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette, and that's in the shade Juliet. I love that palette so much, but I realized that this is like almost the exact same shade as that, and I absolutely love that shade as an all over lid color or a transition color. So I think that one will be a really good one for me to be able to mix into my eye looks throughout the year. The next one here is also from Coastal Scents, and this one is in the shade Amber Bronze. This one is a dupe for one of the shades in my Morphe 35F palette. It is the Fall into Frost palette. And there is so many good bronzy shades that it just worked perfectly. I absolutely love that palette. That was one of my first bigger size palettes, and that shade is just gorgeous. I can wear that with almost any kind of base look in my collection, so I think that'll be a really good one. And then the last one I chose is just a standard black. This is from Colourpop. It's in the shade Let's Do It. And I just wanted to have a general sense of how long it takes me to use a black shadow. So I am using a different black under my eyeline today. I really like to do that instead of doing a black eyeliner because black eyeliner and me are not friends. It always gets in my eyes. It always irritates me. Shadow is like 1,000 times better for me. But I just wanted to show you guys, look at that swatch. I barely touched this shadow and it is so pigmented. So it is such a good black. Like, look how good that black is. It's so black. I can see myself doing some really nice, dark, smoky eyes this year. Especially right now, like in the deep part of the winter. Like, this is like the perfect time, in my opinion at least, to do these like deep, smoky looks. I love a good black, and this one's excellent from Colourpop. And this one I put in to dupe a shade from Lorac, and it is from the original Pro palette in the shade Black. I think the Lorac one is definitely a little bit more pigmented and a little bit better in my opinion than the Colourpop one, but the Colourpop one is definitely a good dupe for it. Okay guys, so those were all of my Pan Those Dupes. Same with those ones. If I hit pan, then I can decide to completely keep using it, keep panning it, whatever. Or I have decided to give myself the option to roll it out and roll something new in. Now, am I gonna do another dupe or am I gonna do a Pan Those eyeshadow shade? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna kind of play it by ear and see how the year is going for me. You guys know I attempted to do this last year and it was a complete fail. I did the intro video and I think one update, and then I never did a video again because I was such a failure at it. But this year's gonna be a little different. I have a feeling it's gonna go a lot better. So, does it look like my hair just have spikes? Because I'm totally sitting in front of the pineapple that I just put up. Whatever, it's Wednesday morning, you guys. We're here. Okay guys, so I have put all of my shades, including my singles, including the like single pans that I have, and including all of the palettes that I have. So if I do pull a palette, then I'll randomize a number from that palette. And if I do pull a single, then hopefully it's a single that can fit in here and we can keep it all in one spot. But I'm gonna pull 3 different shades. Also, if it comes from the Alyssa Edwards palette, we are gonna completely nix that out, as well as if I pull any of these shades in here, then we're gonna just not use those as well. So we'll see how many times this takes, but hopefully we'll get it on the first shot. So I randomized 3 through 193. Yes, that's how many I have. Not how many pans I have, just how many like items I have. So we are going to randomize here. So 147, 14, and 111. 147, 14, and 111. Let me go grab those. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna take the easy one out of the way. Number 14 was a single shadow from my from my Coastal Scents collection, and it was the shade Brownstone. And that's it there. It looks so similar to Makeup Geek here. And here is the swatch right there of it. It is definitely a little bit warmer and a little bit browner than the Makeup Geek one. So Makeup Geek is there, Brownstone is there. So that is the color I pulled. We're gonna be doing a lot of gray looks. But to be fair, gray will go very well with this icy blue shade. It'll also go very well with the black. So I definitely think I can make that work. I can definitely make it work with the green too. Maybe not that like shimmery brown, but we'll make that work. So that's the first one. The next two I pulled were from palettes, so I will have to randomize a shade. So number 147 was the Lorac Pro 3, and this one is a gorgeous palette. I absolutely love it. It does have a lot of love in here because it is a very neutral palette. So let's pull a shade. We have 16 in here, so I do need to randomize on number 1 through 16, and we'll just go left to right like, you know, we read here in the US. So 1 through 16. So here we go, 1 through 16. Number 5. So number 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, it's a shade that I've used quite a bit. It's the shade Clay. And it is like this very warm light brown that'll be a perfect transition color for that golden brown shade. I'm gonna kind of swatch it right next to it and see. Oh yeah, that'll be like perfect combo. So there is the shade right there. So that'll be such a good addition to like this little threesome here. Oh, that'll be perfect. So that is the shade Clay. I will take pictures of all of these so you guys can see my progress throughout the months. The very last one that I pulled is number 111, and that was my Colourpop California Love palette. I am so excited to use this. I have used it a couple times, but not enough to really even show any kind of progress on here. So this is the palette here, and we have 12 shades in here. So I need to randomize another one. Let's see, 1 through 12. Okay, you guys ready? 1 through 12. Number 4. Thought it was gonna be 7, but we're gonna do 4. 4 is going to be the shade Gold Rush, and that is like a matte red, like a brick red almost. And it does have a little flecks of gold shimmer in there, which I don't love, but I don't hate. I'm highly tempted, I know all of these palettes are magnetic, I'm highly tempted to take it out and put it in my Z palette, but I kind of want to get used on this actual palette too, so let me swatch this one. Oh, that'll be such a good combo. So there is Gold Rush right there. That'll go so well with this little foursome here. So it's like I have my lighter and green and grays and blacks there, and then I have my like more warm tones there. That'll be such a good palette. This is such a good color palette for me, I feel like. It doesn't happen often where I actually get a color palette where I can actually work with. Like I love greens, I love browns, I love pinky colors. I think this is a good one. Alrighty, so this is the last palette. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot dirtier now that I'm touching it more, but yeah. Those were all of the shades for all of my projects for my eyeshadows here. So we have the Alyssa Edwards for the tiny pans, we have 6 different shades for Pan Those Dupes, and we have 3 different shades for Pan Those Eyeshadows. I'm really excited to see which one I hit pan on first. Which one do you guys think I'm gonna hit pan on first? I wanna tell you what I think, but I don't wanna ruin it. I'll just tell you which ones. I think I'm gonna hit pan first on this Paprika shade. This is a gorgeous shade from Coastal Scents, and I used it a ton in my Sydney Grace palette. I also think it's highly likely I'm gonna hit pan in this green, kiwi green color from Coastal Scents. we'll see. Also this transition shade from Colourpop, because these have like barely any product in there. Yeah, they have 0.02 ounces of product in here, and that one already has a ton of use. So I definitely think that this one could be a good contender too for the first pan. So make sure to stay up with me on these ones and go and check out everybody else that are doing these projects. I know I'm putting them all in one for myself personally, but I think it's gonna work a lot better for me in the long run, not having to stress about updating on 3 different projects, but just kind of updating them all in one. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Wish me luck on this because I really want to see some more pan in my eyeshadows instead of just using them a couple times and then transitioning to the next. So that is my goal, is to just simply hit some pans this year and enjoy my eyeshadow collection a little bit more. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!